Hi, my name is Diana Albalawi. I'm a professional makeup artist and hairstylist from Russia and also do a little bit of photography. In today's video, I want to speak about a new Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, the Cosmos palette. I actually don't own many Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes. I own only two. The other one is the original Norvina palette. And if you want like a review and makeup looks with this palette, please write me in the comments, because I'm thinking about doing like maybe several makeup looks with it because it's very pretty. It's a very beautiful eyeshadow palette. And also not only like leave a comment, but also please subscribe, give this video a thumbs up. I will really appreciate that. I saw this palette online and I just fell in love with it. I don't know why. I don't know what the reason for that is, but I really loved the color story. I really loved the shades and how they were presented by Anastasia Beverly Hills. So I was monitoring the Sephora in Turkey to see when this palette will be available for me to buy it. And the minute I saw it, I bought it. And today I'm making a review. Several makeup looks. I don't know how many because this is the first makeup look with it. There will be 4 makeup looks. I'm definitely also doing the swatches. If you're interested, please keep on watching. We're starting with the makeup looks and we're starting with the makeup look number 1, which is on me right now. So I prepped my eyelids with the Natasha Denona eyeshadow base. And now I will use my customly repressed powders to dry this area a little bit so that I will have a good blending. For my first makeup look, I will start with the lightest matte shade from the palette, which is called Space Dust. And I will apply this shade into my crease and I will blend it out. And I'm using a flat fluffy brush for this. This is my first time using this palette. Now with the same brush I will pick up the shade Comet and I will deepen my crease and will go a little bit into the outer area of my mobile lid. And with a pencil brush I will apply the same shade on my lower lid. And with my previous brush I will soften the lower edge. Using the same pencil brush I will pick up the shade Eclipse and I will apply it closer to my lashes and will blend it into the previous shade. And now with the tip of the brush, I will go along the lower lash line as well. And now with our previous blending brush, I will marry these shades together. I'm not 100% pleased with the transition, so I will take a very small blending brush and I will use the shade Eclipse and blend it into our previous Comet shade. And lower lid as well. Now I want to play with the shiny shades here and I will apply the shade Sun on the center of my mobile lid. with a small blending brush, I will smooth this edge. For the inner corner, I will take a pencil brush and use the shade Orion, this beautiful pink metallic. I was thinking about doing a different shade on my lower lid, for example the Supernova, but I decided that I wanted to be a little bit more boring, so I'll apply the shade Sun on my lower lid with a pencil brush. As my liner, today I want to use the NYX Epic Wear Liner Stick in the color Burnt Sienna. I'm sorry, these sounds are just my dog walking, eating, I don't know. He has a very active day today. If you, like me, are struggling to apply the pencil really closely to the lashes, you can take your brush, it can be an angled brush or any brush for the eyeliner, pick up the liner from the pencil and then apply it onto your lash area. Beautiful. I'll take a makeup diluent, which is isododecane. It really helps with the thinning the liner, and you can also clean the wing, and this is what I'm gonna do. I will do the rest of my makeup and I will come back to you. So this is my finished look number 1. I think it turned out very pretty. For the waterline, I used the Epic Wear Liner Stick by NYX in the color Pink Spirit. I think it looks here perfectly. And I also did the lashes the way I did in this video. Check it out. I want to make the second makeup look a little bit more grungy slash rock starry. So this is my bare lid. I take a brush that has some residues of concealer and just pat a little bit on top of my lid. If you need to use a primer, use a primer. Now I'll take a regular black pencil. Mine is by MAC in the shade Ebony. You can use a gel pencil for more longevity, or even a gel liner if you want it to be almost waterproof. But I will just use a regular pencil in wood because I don't need this makeup truly to be so long lasting, because it will stay, it will be fine. And I don't plan to go anywhere today anyway. So I will draw a very thick, extremely thick liner. Almost all of my lid, like 2/3 of my lid, will be this thick liner. And I will fill all this area in. I know it's messy right now, but then I will clean everything and it will be good. So this is the beauty of using a regular pencil. If you're using something that fixes, you will have to clean that with micellar water, for example, or immediately, so it will be good. Now we'll take a flat brush and I will pick up the shade Galaxy. I will be applying it in the outer area of my wing and in the inner part of my wing. I will leave the center untouched. I cleaned this brush off of a paper towel and now I will pick up the shade Mercury, this is the silver shade, and I will apply it in the center of my thick liner. Now I'll clean the shape with a cotton bud and a little bit of foundation. It has quite some fallout. I have to remove almost all of my concealer because of the fallout. Maybe it's better if you do concealer after this eye makeup look. If on the upper lid it looks a little bit messy, it's even good. I'm adding my concealer back. How much more fallout is there? You know what, I will add a little bit of the black pencil here in the inner corner. I will do the lashes, the rest of the makeup, and I will come back to you. And this is my finished look number 2. This metallic transfers a little bit and it looks like an oil spill. I think it's quite pretty. And this is how this makeup look looks with a dreamy filter. And this makeup look was inspired by Frankie P. Darling. As my third makeup look, I want to recreate the makeup by Glam Expert. I absolutely fell in love with the makeup look she created. It's so extremely beautiful. I will apply the Natasha Denona eyeshadow base. A little bit of setting powder for blendability. I will start with the shade Mars on a fluffy brush. I'm applying it in my outer corner. I'm also concentrating it closer to the lashes. And with a smaller brush, we'll apply the same shade in the inner part of my crease, closer to the brow. And now the same shade on the lower lid. Now with an angled brush I will try to draw a liner with the shade Dark Matter. Now with a pencil brush and the same shade I will deepen the lower lash line. And with a flat brush and my eyeshadow primer I want to cut the crease here. I just understood that I need to add a bit more shadow here. And I'm cutting a bit here as well. Now, a very soft flat brush and the main star of this makeup look, the shade Super Cluster. It will go in the inner corner. It will go almost everywhere. I think that I need to cut this crease even higher into the brow. Also the inner corner. And on the lower lid, closer to the lashes in the inner part of the lower lid. And I will go back to the Mars shade a little bit and I will blend the shade up into the brow. Hope it's not a mistake. I will do the rest of my makeup and I will come back to you. And this is our makeup look number 3. I love how it turned out. I think it looks magnificent. And if you're curious, I use the Dior Backstage blush in the new shade 015 Cherry. If you want to see the review on this blush, here it is. Love this makeup look. And this is how it looks with the Dreamer filter on. And the makeup looks 2 and 3 together. I want to make my 4th makeup look kind of fairy style, so I will be using all the duochromes. I have already applied my eyeshadow base by Natasha Denona, and now I want to sketch my liner. To sketch it, I will use the shade Eclipse and a small liner brush. I'm using shadows in case I do not like the shape, so it is easy to remove it and reapply. Easy! That's better. Okay, that will be my shape. I just need to repeat it symmetrically on my other eye. So this looks more or less symmetrical for me. Now I will take a gel eyeliner. Mine is by Maybelline. I will take a black gel eyeliner. I will mix it with isododecane so that it will be thinner and easier to work with. Mine isododecane is by Ave Voden and it is called Beauty Mixer. And I will draw all the lines that I drew and also the lash area as well. Good luck. I will clean the mistakes with isododecane later. Well, you will have to agree that after this, regular liner is not that hard. I also thicken some places. This gives dynamic. Now take a small clean brush, a little bit of isododecane, and I clean the areas I don't like. I will add concealer on top of them a little bit later. I will do the other eye and I will come back to you. Now all the fun starts. To add a little bit of depth, I will use a pencil brush and the shade Eclipse. And I will deepen some areas like that. And now we can place our shiny shades. I will start with Kosar, whatever. I will apply it in the inner corner here. Now I will place the shade Supernova on the center of my mobile lid. For the outer area, I will use the shade Sun. For the inner corner here, I will use the shade Orion, and I will use it with a smaller brush. And I will use the same shade here. For these two outer areas, I will use the shade Supercluster, the blue one here. I will do the same on my other eye. I also want to add the Super Cluster shade under the brow. Because I can. I don't know how about you, but I feel that this area is a little bit empty, so I want to add maybe some crystals here. I think it's lonely, it needs a friend. I feel this will be enough. I feel a little bit like a crazy person with this makeup look, but it's kinda 2 a.m. So I feel very creative, and this is what I'm doing at 2 a.m. I will go and do the rest of my makeup. I will do the lashes, brows, everything, and I will come back to you. And this is my finished look. I also added a little bit of the lightest matte shade on the lower lid. Did the brows, the lashes. This is pink highlighter by Pat McGrath from her palette, from this palette. So yeah, of course there is this blurring filter on because I really like how these sparkles look with it. My idea behind the fourth makeup look was to show you that this palette can also be quite fairy. So I created this fairy look. I know it is way too much and you can go much more subtle, but this is what my soul wanted today, what my heart wanted today. So this is the fourth makeup look, and I'm really curious which makeup look was your favorite. Please write down in the comments. So these were our makeup looks. Please write down in the comments which one was your favorite. Now it's time for the swatches. There are 12 shades in this palette and every pan is 1.35 grams. So if we look at the classic palettes by Anastasia Beverly Hills, there were 14 pans and 0.71 grams each. So you're getting a little bit less like shadows color-wise, shade-wise, but you get more product in this palette. I also really like how it feels, the texture of the packaging. I was very pleasantly surprised with it. This palette also has 5 matte shades and 7 shiny shades. And I totally forgot, we still have the film here. Let's remove it. There was almost no sound, so maybe it wasn't that exciting. Super cluster. It's a beautiful duochrome, bluish mintish, and it also has a transparent base. Sun. So this shade is a shade that has this goldish, like bronzish, very light bronzish, more like goldish shade as its base, and has a pink sheen. Orion. This is a pink shade and it has some goldish specks in it, like goldish glitters, and maybe a little bit of a sheen. I really can't tell. This is a rich gray metallic, deep silver. Quasar. This might be the prettiest shade in the palette. It is like yellowy greenish, but it also has a little bit of bluish sheen and specks of lilac glitters. It's very pretty. The camera just doesn't give it justice. And the base is also almost transparent. Is it visible? Galaxy. Galaxy looks like a matte shade that has quite a lot of sparkles in it. So they added some very fine, tiny-ish glitters that reflect green, blue. It looks really pretty. I think that this is the shade that actually touched my heart and soul, but I really don't know what I'm going to do with it because I haven't played with this palette yet. I'm just doing the swatches right now. Space Dust. This is a super neutral beigey, taupey, sandy shade that for deeper skin tones will be more like a highlighting shade. For lighter skin tone, it's a very, very soft transition shade, like very light transition shade that barely even showed on my lids, to be honest, because my lids are quite dark. So very pretty, and I think that you can use it for almost like any makeup look. Comet. This is a muted warm shade that has a little bit of like orangey peachiness to it, and it is a matte. Eclipse. Another matte shade. It is like this plum. It's also quite muted, and I really love the shade. I think it's incredibly pretty. Supernova. A beautiful shade that has beigey rosish base and a beautiful bluish violet tint, and it also is half transparent, like also very pretty. Mars. So this is a deeper warm matte shade. It also has quite a lot of mutiness to it, and the last shade is dark matter. It's also pressed kind of harder. So this is the deepest shade in the palette. It also has this plum undertone and a lot of mutiness, and I also think that this is a very pretty shade, but I have not played with it yet. And I also think that this shade is a very nice variation that is not like a very deep brown or black. So it's a very interesting option for this palette that I really enjoy. So these are our swatches. As I did 4 makeup looks, I can finally tell you what I really think about this palette. What are the pros, what are the cons, finally. So this is this part. I will reconsider later if I want to use this blurring filter. Now it will stay. Then when I watch the footage, I will make the final decision for the future videos. I feel that Anastasia Beverly Hills really killed with the theme of the palette. So choosing translucent duochromes I think was a brilliant idea because they are really popular right now. I feel that she just nailed that. The brand nailed that. I think it's strange. Let's remove the filter. I hope it's better. And this palette manages to catch consumer's eye. It caught my eye. I'm not the biggest fan of Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes. I have only one more palette except for this, so I have 2 palettes. And they really never truly intrigued me. I never really wanted to buy them. I'm not going crazy about their formula, to be honest, especially about their matte formula. Pat McGrath intrigues me much more. And I feel that this color theme is quite unique. Well, separately, shades are not unique. You can find dupes in many other brands, especially like in indie brands. They're not new, but altogether it looks quite fresh. Honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of Anastasia Beverly Hills formula, but what I need to say is that I really enjoyed the metallics here. They're very comfortable to work with. They don't have fallout. They're quite creamy. They were a delight. But I can't say the same about the mattes. So they are more or less blendable, so I did not have many problems with that, but they are very dry. They feel very dry, and this is Pat McGrath's and Natasha Denola's formula just spoiled me forever, I guess. After their formula, Anastasia feels not so comfortable, so I felt that I really had to layer Anastasia quite a lot, and I had to dip the brush back there quite a lot to build the shade on my lids. I'm talking about mattes. Also, the shades felt a little bit inconsistent in their performance, so some of the shades like Space Dust, Comet and Mars were very comfortable to work with. Easy blending, nothing bad I can say about them. Well, Eclipse gave me a little bit of a hard time, honestly, and also Dark Matter is a little bit too overpressed, I guess, but I managed to work with it, so no problem there. Galaxy is not actually a true metallic, it's a matte shade with glitters there. It gives you fallout everywhere, which was quite frustrating. But speaking about the metallics, I really love them, so I would consider this palette to be in addition to a collection, so that you will come back and reach out to it for those beautiful metallics. The mattes are not to die for, honestly. They're okay. I'm not mad at them. They're fine. What else I liked about this palette is that it gives you quite a lot of diversity in the makeup looks that you can create with it. So you can go with more grungy because it has these darker shades and this mercury silver shade. You can layer these beautiful duochromes and metallics on top of anything. It will be so interesting. So I feel that it covers grungy makeup looks, it covers fairy makeup looks, it is really like up to date. It feels fresh. It doesn't feel like it's another similar palette that already exists. So this is what I really appreciate about it. But if you expect every single shadow to perform absolutely perfectly, well, this palette is going to disappoint you, and I already spoke about that. I really hope that you enjoyed this video or you found it helpful. Thank you very much for watching, and bye bye.